What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Blank09 here today to chat with you more about some Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And today we're talking about the elephant in the room once again, which is skill-based matchmaking. Now, this sort of skill-based matchmaking story has been developing over the past couple weeks, which is why you haven't seen me sort of make a video on it, because I wanted to kind of collate all the information and then kind of make a proper judgment and a proper summary after the fact of everything sort of coming out. So the main things that I want to talk about in this video is 1, my own findings, 2, Michael Condrey coming out against Activision, and 3, the exclusive Aces video where he goes in-depth analysis into skill-based matchmaking and its evidence here in Modern Warfare. And then I'll finally wrap it up with all my opinions and thoughts and everything like that, as you're used to seeing here on the channel. So first we'll start off with what I would believe is the most interesting, the most evident, and I guess the best bit of information we've gotten in terms of the existence of skill-based matchmaking here in Call of Duty, and that comes from a tweet from Michael Condrey. Now, Michael Condrey used to be a Sledgehammer Games employee, was in the team that worked on Advanced Warfare and World War II, and then left to join 2K Games. He essentially said that it's all down to Activision. Activision is the one that's implementing this system into the game, the one that wants to shoehorn this system of matchmaking into the game, and it's not necessarily down to the developers. And as well as that, in terms of microtransactions and stuff like that, it's all down to Activision as well, which we knew in terms of microtransactions, but we didn't know in terms of skill-based matchmaking. And once that sort of has been revealed to us, it kind of makes sense, because again, skill-based matchmaking is a system in place there to keep casual and new players happy in playing the game. It's there so that you split all the players that are good at the game with the players that aren't good at the game, and the players that aren't good at the game get paired together, and the different skilled players get put together. Again, that's the best way to put it, keeping the casual and new players happy because they're not getting pooped on every single game. That's what skill-based matchmaking is here for, to keep that casual audience here in Call of Duty, playing the game, spending money, because that's the majority of the audience that spends money here in Call of Duty. People like you, people like me, hardcore fans, we understand and we know what's worth our money here in Call of Duty. The battle pass is worth your money because you get 100 tiers of free skins, and it's $15 so long as you complete that battle pass. Some of the bundles and stuff like that in the store are really not worth it when you get like the operator skins and the mastercrafts and that sort of stuff. All that stuff is not really worth spending $30 on, but the casual fan who plays this game will probably spend their money on that, which is why skill-based matchmaking is here, to keep that audience happy, to keep them spending money in the game. And it makes a whole lot of sense. And the fact that Michael Condrey came out and sort of exposed this and sort of revealed this to us all is very interesting to see why he comes out now. Apparently it was in Advanced Warfare. Apparently Activision tried to shoehorn it into there, and obviously they're shoehorning it into other games in the Call of Duty franchise as well, as we well and truly know. But the only problem is how intense is that skill-based matchmaking, and here in Modern Warfare it's very, very, very apparent, and it's very, very like how you factor the matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking is the highest factor, and it's got to be. Exclusive Ace again came down to the same sort of opinion and decision as well. He revealed that skill-based matchmaking is in fact in the game, and his sort of opinion on it was to tone it down, not to completely remove it, which is very calculated and makes a lot of sense, because Activision is not going to remove an entire matchmaking system that obviously makes them a lot of money, so possibly toning it down could be the answer there. In terms of my findings and what I've found with skill-based matchmaking, I found that it's on a basis of the people you're playing against. If we look at it in terms of Warzone, when I'm playing Warzone with, say, my girlfriend or some of my other friends who are of lower level than me, and I don't want to sound arrogant, but of lower skill than me, obviously, because I've been playing the franchise for a lot longer than they have, I find myself getting paired up with more people who are not as sweaty or not as, sweaty is the word to use. Not just like players that just aren't as sweaty like I would if I was queuing up in a solos game of Warzone. When I queue up in games of 6v6 multiplayer, I always get paired up with players who are level 155, players who are in parties, players who aren't even in Australia, players in New Zealand, players in Canada, players in the United States. Like, it's not even a case of me having the right connection to those people, it's a case of me being of the same skill level to those players, and it's evident, and I see that, and there's no escaping that. There's no escaping the fact that that skill-based matchmaking is in this game, because as of everyone else's findings, as of Michael Condrey coming out saying that, as of me playing the game and realizing, and I'm sure you guys have realized it as well, this system is in place, and there's no escaping that. There's no hiding the fact. There's no saying it's connection based, because it's not. Because if the game was connection based, one, I wouldn't be getting paired up with players in the United States, Canada, because I'm on the other side of the fucking world. Two, I wouldn't be paired up against the same people every single time I search for a game of 6v6 domination or any sort of playlist that I play against. I'm always seeing the same people over and over and over again. And you could argue that no one's playing the game mode, but I'm pretty sure there's people playing the game mode. And I'm pretty sure that I cannot only just match up with against people in America and people of level 155. I guess the most important thing that we have to understand here is that Activision is looking at this from a business point of view, and that's one of the things that you can see, and it's evident in a lot of the business decisions that they've made in terms of taking multiplayer out of Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered and releasing them as two separate games. Again, business point of view, and we explained that in our previous video. And here with skill-based matchmaking, again, it's from a business point of view. It's what I explained earlier, getting those casual and new players continuing to play the game and continuing to spend their own money in the game in order to drive those microtransaction sales up is one of the main things that skill-based matchmaking is here. And I think that Exclusive Ace is right in the fact that if we're gonna have this system, tone it down. And Exclusive Ace also touched on the fact that we should have like a ranked playlist so that we can actually see our skill rating, because what's the point in being matched up against all these different players from all around the world who are apparently of the same skill level as me if I can't even see the skill level that apparently I've worked hard to get, or I can't see the skill levels of other players? Like, I don't understand why they can't just have like a ranked playlist where all the sweaty people can go into the ranked playlist, or at least show us our skill rating, right? Wouldn't that just be something you'd do? If you're gonna have this system and if you're gonna have this system cranked up to 11, why not show players like their skill rating? And it wouldn't fix the issue, of course it wouldn't, because in an ideal world we'd go back to the traditional Call of Duty matchmaking where it was connection based and where it wasn't based on skill level, and you had a mixed variety of players, and that mixed variety of players made for a better multiplayer experience, because you weren't always coming up against sweaty nerds who are drop shotting in the beginning pre-match of Warzone and all that sort of crap. Like, man, like I'm just sick of coming up against all these sweaty kids who take this game way too seriously, who think every single pub game or every single game of Warzone is like they're playing in order for their mum not to get shot in the head by some terrorist or some random obscure situation like that, just so that Activision can make a couple bucks off of some random bloke off the street who bought Modern Warfare for $50 in an op shop. Like, I don't understand why we can't either just have it toned down, or we can't just remove it entirely and go back to what made Call of Duty Call of Duty. Because if you look at it, right, Call of Duty was the most successful franchise for a number of years, and it's still one of the most successful franchises in gaming history. Call of Duty succeeded and it thrived off of no skill-based matchmaking before, so why does it need it right now? Why do we need to have this system right now when back then, when Call of Duty was popping even more than it is right now? Why do we need this system, right? It doesn't quite make sense. And for all the casuals who are watching this video and like, oh yeah, you just want an easy game, you just every single time you just want to poop on noobs and all that sort of stuff. It's not about that. It's not about me wanting to go into every single 6v6 game or every single Warzone game expecting a win. It's about having variety. It's about not having to use the best guns every single game. It's about not having to try my very, very best every single game just to get a couple kills and just to get a gameplay for you guys. It's not about that. It's not about that whatsoever. And I don't know, it's just frustrating to know that this system is in place, and it's frustrating to know how crazy this system is and how intense this system and how influential it is to the matchmaking here in Modern Warfare, to the point where I'm getting matched up against people from the United States on the other side of the world. Like, it doesn't make sense as to why that should even be happening. If they were telling the truth and this game was completely based on connection, then I wouldn't be getting paired up against those people on the other side of the world. I'd be getting paired up against people in Australia, and that's it. So I don't know, I'm lost for words on this topic, because in this video I told you guys 3 instances, 3 examples, 3 analysis of skill-based matchmaking and its existence here in Modern Warfare. The most annoying thing is that if it isn't Infinity Ward's fault, and if mitochondria is to be believed, and it's Activision pushing them to do it, why? I guess it's hard for Infinity Ward to kind of come out and say, yes, it's in the game, because maybe Activision is telling them, don't tell the players that it's in the game. And from all of this, and from all this sort of, I guess, research and analysis and I guess exposure is the best way to put it as well, we can see that it's Activision sort of pulling a lot of the strings here, and its developers kind of just having to shoehorn everything in as per Activision's request. Because if you guys don't know, Activision is the publisher. Activision is the one that's going to advertise, market, push this game out to like your local game shops and electronic stores, your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Steams, and all that sort of stuff. Activision is the one that's distributing this product, this developer's project, to the masses. So without the publisher, you can't have developers. Without the publisher, you can't have games. And the publisher, developers don't get their games not profited, like sort of financed and sort of pushed in out there and advertised and all that sort of stuff. You need a publisher for that. That's why a lot of sort of indie games have a bit of a charm to them, because they don't have this big publisher backing, and they are developed with a small team, and they're all this sort of stuff. When you get into the big corporations and stuff like that, since they're putting their own money into it, they expect a certain amount of control. It's like that with any sort of business. If you have a business and you sell a part of your business for 60% and you only have 40%, that 60% is the controlling stake. So how much of Call of Duty is the developers and how much of Call of Duty is Activision, we won't know. But it's clear to see that skill-based matchmaking is here because of Activision. And if we're going to move forward with skill-based matchmaking, it's going to be a system that's in place for years and years to come. What needs to happen is a compromise. Either have a ranked playlist where we display our skill rating, or just tone it down. It wasn't this intense last year. I'm sure it wasn't this intense in World War II. So why is it this intense here in Modern Warfare? It's yet to be seen. Anyways, guys, leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about all of this skill-based matchmaking, mitochondria, exclusive ace, your findings, what you've experienced. Let me know all that stuff down below. Click subscribe if you're new here so you don't miss out on my next video. Click that bell for alerts if you want them as well. Down in the description down below is a link to my second channel where I'm doing a Let's Play of Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered. So if you want to watch that, go ahead down there, click subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.